So it was February 2023. But yeah, I slipped and I bashed my chest. And straight away I was like, oh, I felt really winded. I went in and I felt something and I thought that swelled up really fast, that has. So all that night I was just feeling it and I just couldn't sleep. So it wasn't even like a pea lump thing. It was like a big bulge. So it was technically my whole breast really. So the next morning I phoned the doctor straight away. Because of my sister's history, I got booked straight in.
And your sister then previously had...
She'd had it 3 years before me, yeah. So the exact same age. We both had it at 37. So, yeah.
And then what was the process? Did you have an ultrasound?
So I was at the hospital within 2 days. I had the ultrasound first and I could just tell by the face, the nurse's face, and she was going really far up and really getting in, really getting in. And then she says to the nurse that she wanted me to go and have a mammogram. And then the nurse actually says, oh, she's only 37, which I thought was quite strange as she says that. And she says, oh, no, I want her to go and have a mammogram. So she took me to have that. And then when I come back, she says, I need to do a biopsy. So I think from then, I knew there was something. And I says to her, there is something there, isn't there? And she says, yeah. And she went, there's definitely something there. I think it was within probably about a week, I was back at Swelled Hospital. And the doctor told me, he said, it's a grade 3. And all I knew was there's grade 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then I thought, gosh, that's one off. I was just, okay. They got quite obviously technical about the terms and stuff, but all I heard was it's cancer, it's in my breast and it's grade 3. And we're going to get you straight onto the chemo. So once I heard that, I felt quite safe in a way that they were moving really fast. And yeah, I did feel really in somebody's safe hands. And I felt really comfortable, putting my life in their hands. And he says, yeah, straight away, it was like, we'll get you booked in with Dr. Salik. And she was actually my sister's consultant as well. So it was really bizarre. It moved really, really fast from then. I think I was probably within 2 weeks, I was having my first round of chemo.
And did you have the same type of breast cancer as your sister? No. I didn't know, by the way, when I was diagnosed, that it was more than one type of breast cancer.
I did not have a clue, not a clue. So mine's hormonal, whereas apparently my sister's isn't. So I had the BRCA test done and I'm BRCA1.
Yeah.
My sister's not had that done yet. She's yet to have it done. They started to explain certain things, but the PICC line and what treatment I'm going to be on. I was absorbing it, but not. I think because I'd kind of been through it as well with my sister, I kind of knew what to expect, but it was also a bit strange when I knew that it wasn't the same one. I was thinking, so it is going to be a completely different journey, which, yes, everybody's is completely different. And so within 2 weeks, I was in having my first round of chemo. And then, yeah, it just carried on from then.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I don't ever remember being scared. I don't think I had the time to. Yeah. I think I was just on autopilot and I had a bit worried about my kids as well because I didn't tell my kids, which not at first, because my eldest was going through his A-levels. And so I didn't want him affected whatsoever. But when it comes to the medical terms and all that kind of stuff, I didn't really know anything about it.
Now, Naren, can you explain what different types of breast cancer are?
Thank you for sharing, firstly. So when you got to the breast clinic, it's worth our listeners understanding that when we make a diagnosis of breast cancer, there are those like yourself who had a symptom, like a lump, a change in the breast, change in the texture, a lump in the armpit. And then there are those who don't have any symptoms, but we pick up a breast cancer.
Yeah.
So they are no symptoms, but we've picked up the breast cancer, whether they're in a older age group and we're doing a mammogram every 3 years, or whether nowadays we also do a body scan for something else and we pick up a breast cancer. The other really helpful thing was that you mentioned about grade. It's a really important point that you've identified because, and we'll take you through a biopsy in a moment, it's not uncommon that people will confuse grade and stage. And there are 3 grades of breast cancer, 1, 2, and 3. And there are 5 stages of breast cancer, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's devastating for some women. They will listen to not much. And that's why it's always useful to have someone there with you. There'll always be a breast care nurse there as well. So there is this ability to confuse grade and stage, and we'll come to that very shortly. The other thing, I guess, from a personal point of view, when we share a diagnosis, over the years, I've observed very different types of reactions. You'll see a young lady sitting there with her partner. If it's a male partner, sometimes the lady's fine, but the husband breaks down. And that's really difficult. It's a really interesting dynamic. And, as someone who gives that or shares that information, it makes you feel a little bit sort of, why is that individual not responding in the way that you think you would respond?
I think it's just shock.
Yeah.
I think it's you're not responding to it, but in your head, you're responding to 1,000,001 questions in your own head. I think your life does literally flash before your eyes when you're in that situation.
I used to try and protect as well, like who is in the room with me. If it was my twin sister or my parents, or I would just go, I have a chatterbox. I would go very quiet. And that was my way.
Yeah. See, me and my sister my older sister, are extremely close, and I was there for a whole of hers. And because I knew what she'd gone through, I didn't want her to have to relive that with me, going through that with me. And when you do go home, you're thinking, oh, I wish I asked this, I wish I had that. But so it is a hard one, because you do get told to bring somebody with you. And then if you are on your own, maybe you can break down a bit more than what you want to. Whereas if you have got somebody there with you and you don't want to hurt them.